Yeah. Yo. It was good. Sam, Ronnie, what up? Q was good. He ain't welcome on here. Like he got lucky on at the battle. I ain't want to say shit, but nah, that nigga not welcome on this shit. We ain't having no body talk shit about us low key, and then they want to jump back on again. Like, it ain't happening. And Sam and Ronnie, you the moderators. You see that nigga, you block him. Nothing happened. Don't worry about it. I said he ain't welcome on here. That's just what it is. You can't be trusted. Kristen, what's good, yo? What's up with the CD, man? It ain't even about that. It's just about this shit that he said in the past about Reg's music and all that, and him reporting my channel. We ain't cool with that dude like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. I ain't say nothing during the beat battle, but I'm saying it now. So he not welcome on here. That goes for anybody that got shit to say. We ain't tolerating that. If you're not cool with us, then don't show up on our shit. Yeah, he reported my channel. He reported it when I did that interview with him like a couple months ago. You know, just waiting for Reg to get on here. He said he didn't like the interview or some shit. I'm like, nah. You're not even an established artist yet to be saying that. So the nerve of him. He didn't like the interview. You can't be a new artist and a diva at the same time. I'm chilling. Moonflower was cool. We're not talking about Moonflower. I'm talking about Zion. This ain't about nobody else. You don't like Moonflower, son? You don't know who Moonflower is? He be in the chat with you all. It ain't about Moonflower. We cool. What's on my playlist today? I was playing some old school 90s R&B, a lot of Uptown MCA, hip hop soul stuff. Horace Brown, Had an unreleased album apparently back in '93, and I know Ronnie posted that up. It's on his YouTube channel. Salute to Ronnie for that. I didn't even know he had an unreleased album. I was listening to that. You know, the second Soul For Real album. Uh, what else? Gina Thompson first album. A lot of Uptown MCA R&B stuff. You know, I'll Be Sure. Today's his anniversary for his. I think it's his third album, Sexy Verses. So I was listening to that. You know, some alternative stuff, some Sublime first album. Love that album. Some Foo Fighters stuff. Favorite TV show of all time? You ask us that all the time, yo. I think, what did I say? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's my favorite. Between that and Cosby Show. Martin was good. Martin is in my top 5, definitely. Go back and watch that 6-hour TV show list we did. Like, it's 6 hours altogether, but we split it into like 3-hour episodes with me, Reg, and Ashley. Top 100 TV shows of all time. We did that last year. That was great. A lot of great shows on that we did. 227, yep, that was on my list as well. Love 227. Favorite unreleased album? Tupac One Nation. Great album. I love Linkin Park. I'm gonna discuss Linkin Park on here at some point. You know, like their top 3 albums or something like that. Hybrid Theory, Meteora is my favorite album. That was actually came out on my birthday. Back then, Minutes to Midnight, classic albums. I just listened to Ty Farris, Underground Rapper. I heard about Ty Farris, yeah. I never listened to Ty. Yes, definitely. Sexy Verses is better than the second one I had on cassette. I did not like it. It was not good. It wasn't like his first album. But yeah, Sexy Verses was a good comeback for him. Yeah, I'm gonna do a discography ranking on Linkin Park. What is their worst album? I don't feel like they have a worst album. I think every album was different. You know, they had some albums like what you call it, Living Things was like a EDM album because EDM was big at that time in like the 2010s. The Hunting Party was like probably their most hard rock edged sounding album compared to any other album that they had. I don't feel like they have a bad album. It's just they have albums that are greater than others. They have albums that they were just good for that period of in music. But I'll when I do the ranking, then I'll rank my favorite to least favorite or whatever. Yeah. Dope battle. I wish more people was watching it. I guess people don't like Gamble and Huff. You know, if we did a Pete Rock battle now, a lot of people will watch it. But when it come to Gamble and Huff, people sleep on them. I didn't hear it. I seen people give it like a two rating. They said it wasn't a good album. But I like the Outlaws. I've always liked them. I just feel like their energy is gone since Pac passed away. But when Pac was here, like they were great. That energy is missing. R&B classic, yes. Classic R&B, definitely. Do I know him? Yes, I've heard a couple of his albums. Knowledge the Pirate, dope underground artist. You know, definitely a slept on artist right now. You know, you don't hear him too much in conversation. You know, a lot of the underground cats is doing it. Rome Streets, definitely doing it right now. Makami, yeah, rest in peace, Anthony Johnson. It seemed like half of the cast of Fridays is dead and gone right now. That's just crazy. Yep, Rock Marcy definitely. Rock Marcy got his own little crew, man. He's producing for people. Stove got Cooks and Knowledge the Pirate, Flea Lord. He doing it. I haven't seen the Wonder Years remake. I don't think they needed a remake. It's a classic show. They should have just left it alone. So I won't be watching that. I'm not into remakes and reboots and all that. It has to be better for you to make a remake of something. It has to be better than the original. 9 times out of 10, a lot of the movies especially are not better than the originals, and they just do it to to update the story for the younger generation, and it's like a cash grab. But I'm not a fan of remakes and reboots, especially something that I grew up watching. Yes, yes, Fuji's are reunited. I still can't believe it. They came out of nowhere. Reg was good, yo.
Hey, Wi-Fi was bugging. What's up, bro?
It's all good. Um, yeah, the Fuji's are back. The Fuji's are back. What do you think about that?
We'll see how long this lasts.
What do you think about that? I'm still shocked that the Fuji's are back. It don't seem real. I'm like, and I seen people. I'm like, what? Wait, what's going on here? Like,
Right.
when did all this happen? And I'm like, yo, like we was talking about this forever. And I said it like when it comes to groups like P Rock and Seal Smooth and EPMD had they little falling out and got back together, and when it comes to groups like that, I'm like, yo, Fuji's at some point got to get back together. It's only right. You gotta do this for the culture. You gotta do this for the fans. I know they got a ton of ideas they would want to execute together as a group collectively. Give us some dope ass music, man. Like we gotta eradicate mumble rap for good. You know what I'm saying? Let's do away with this bullshit that's out there in the mainstream and bring back this culture the way it used to be. And I think Fuji's was at the forefront of that. And I'm happy. I've only seen the Fugees once in my lifetime. It was 1996. That's the only time I've seen them. So I would love to see the Fugees on tour and to see them back with a new album, and they deserve a documentary. We need a documentary for the Fugees. Okay, like a tour is great. I want a new album and a documentary for this group for what they did, and they meant so much individually to the culture.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's only right. Lauren Hill is a talent in her own right with acting. I've seen her in Sister Act, and what she's done, and Wyclef was a talent in his own right, and Praz did his thing, and they need a documentary or a biopic. It's
I was
time.
just listening to the Carnival earlier.
Classic. We got to. I thought you said you wanted to discuss that.
I I keep pushing that back. That's on me.
Why? Why are you pushing it back? Let's not wait till one of them is no longer here. Let's do this now.
Yeah, I
You know
mean,
what I'm
don't get me
saying?
wrong. It's still on my list and stuff like that. But that I had a lot of bullshit. But we're gonna
You
do that
wanted to
one.
do. Wanted to do Nelly over Wyclef. You wanted to discuss every Ja Rule album over Wyclef. I
Like
don't.
I
I love Ja
said,
Rule.
people voted for the job rule.
People
I'm
voted for Ja. What's wrong with who the hell is voting for Ja Rule? All of Ja Rule discography over Wyclef.
like
Carnival.
niggas voted for Ja Rule, Blood in My Eye, Last Temptation, Bitty B Vici.
Oh
I was
Lord.
like, let me just do a fucking discography of Ja Rule and shit because I never really heard a lot of Ja Rule's
And
music in depth.
and people voted for the Shaquille O'Neal discography.
No, I want to do that
Oh,
one.
oh,
I
okay.
want to do that one. Yeah, I was like fuck what everybody said. I'm doing the Shaquille O'Neal and shit.
Oh man. Oh
But
man.
yeah, the carnival we can do that one next month. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna
Yeah.
pull the album out in a minute.
Yes. You know what I mean? And
But you want to talk
it's
about
a
Process album too?
that's up to you. I'm trying to remember if I even heard Proz's album. I don't think I even heard that joint. I didn't
I
buy
haven't
it.
heard it either.
I never bought it. You know what I mean? Any Wycliffe albums I have, except for minus the Carnival, were accidents.
To
You
all
know what
the
I mean? The
gas.
the second great album. The second one I got as a present. The Preacher's Son I got, that was a part of a haul. I didn't buy anything else other than the Carnival from my club. So any other albums I have were like bonus.
Hey yo, have you seen that show Our Kind of People yet?
No, I keep hearing about it. Is it good?
I'm watching it now. I'm watching this over the Wonder Years reboot because I'm not gonna watch that shit.
Yeah, because Q mentioned it. I'm like, I don't like reboots of anything.
Yeah, first of all, don't ever touch the Wonder Years in your
No.
fucking life. Like, and then y'all want to replace it with this black trauma thing? Nah, I'm good, bro. No, I'm serious. They're trying to talk about, oh, this is like the talking about the '60s with the civil rights. I'm like, the first Wonder Years talked about the '60s and the early '70s. So what the fuck y'all talking about?
Exactly.
Well, just because they
Well,
talk about black trauma, oh, all of a sudden I have to watch it. And so,
they
please,
showed the
please.
online interview with Fred Savage. Telling the young black kid he was gonna be the new like main character.
What? Oh
Yeah,
wow.
they showed that on I think it was Access Hollywood or something today.
Ah,
I'm like, it's not needed. I grew up watching the One Years. I was like in elementary school when the One Years was on. Like, it's not. We don't need a reboot of this.
it's one of the greatest television shows in history, man.
What wasn't? I'm trying to think. Was that on your list for the sitcoms or no?
That was my, I think my
That was
number
on the list.
17.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Like I remember, like even though I wasn't alive when it was initially on, it's
Right.
like I watched it like when it was like on Nick at Night, ABC
Mm-hmm.
Family, and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. It was like one of those few TV shows that got everything right. Why the fuck are they trying to redo it?
Chris. Oh, where? Knowledge the Pirate was done with Teddy Riley. I didn't know that. No, I didn't.
You
I
heard
didn't hear
like
about.
Eminem's new Marshall Mathers LP
Yes.
3.
I hope that's not true. I really do not hope that's not true
So
because
Nas and
nothing
Buster
will
got that.
top the first one. The first one is a classic. Part two, I actually have. Again, that was part of a haul. I did not go out of my way to buy it because at that point I was already done with Eminem's albums. Part two, it was okay, but again, part two was nothing. It wasn't even touching the first one. Why would you do a part three? I have no idea. Especially the way that the recent shit that he's been dropping is like I'm not anxious to hear part three at all. You know what I'm saying? I really don't care. We don't need a Marshall Mathers part three. I really don't care to hear that. You know.
Wow, where my keys at, man?
I didn't know Knowledge the Pirate was done with Teddy Riley. I didn't hear about Knowledge the Pirate till like maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Ah, who's Knowledge the Pirate?
He's down with
Underground?
Rock Marcy. He's down with Rock Marcy. But
Cool.
I didn't know he was down with Teddy Riley and Blackstreet. And I have that first Blackstreet album. I don't remember hearing. What did he go under like another name? Because I don't remember hearing him on there.
That first Blackstreet album is classic.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing him on there.
If we were doing R&B groups with bad discography, I would put the Blackstreet because their
Hey,
first two albums is it for me. After
we
that, it
could
was
we
just
could do that. We could do that. This would be like part one.
oh,
You
okay.
know what I'm saying? That's a good idea. You giving me another idea, Reg.
Yeah, 'cause I still didn't forget about the overrated R&B albums and shit.
Right. Yeah, I gotta make my list with that shit too.
Right, because it's like with R&B, I have to think a lot of more. Because hip hop is like easy. R&B is just like I have to think about that shit.
Right.
I know fucking surprisingly, I'm gonna be real with you guys and shit like that. I might throw in some albums that y'all might fuck with.
Tonight.
That no, 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 no.
Everybody on my list. Everybody on my list deserve to be on this list. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just gonna
Everybody.
freestyle. I'm just freestyling
Everybody.
here. To be real with you.
Everybody deserve to be on this list because they are not good. I'm trying to decide if I should even pull up pictures of them. You know, should I even pull up like pictures like I did last week? Pictures of they bad albums and shit.
If you want to.
You know, because I'm like, man, and this is only 10 I have. I don't even got like a whole bunch like 20 or nothing like that. I'm just picking out the ones that came to my mind. I'm like, yo, it's not good.
So did you base your list off MC that had more bad albums than good?
I based my list off of people, artists that are heralded as some of the best spitters, like Jadakiss, but he
Mm.
have a terrible discography. You know what I'm saying? And I think just about everybody on this list are great spitters, but their discography is terrible, and they don't have a classic in their discography. They have like maybe one or two solid albums, and everything else is mediocre or crap.
Okay.
That's how I went about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like if I throw Nas on there and I feel like Nas's best work is from the '90s, and then his 2000 shit is mediocre or bad. I didn't do it like that. I just did the artists, 10 artists that don't have a classic album in their discography, but they're deemed as like one of the goats in hip hop.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
You know what I mean?
All right. So I'm ready whenever you are and shit. Shit.
Well, yeah, we already started. So we doing a topical discussion about MCs that are deemed as or one of the best ever in the culture, or you can put them on Mount Rushmore, but they don't have a single classic album to show for it, which is what me and Reg was talking about and BJ was talking about, like back when the whole Dipset and Locks thing happened. Jadakiss is a great MC. I don't feel like he have a single classic album in his discography. You know what I'm saying? And I've been in the discussions where people say the same thing. His first album was his best, and that's it. You know what I mean? So
I
I'm like, yo, why not just do a whole discussion about like other? There's many other artists that they're great spitters, but they have no classics in their discography. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, that would definitely be a great discussion. Um, I could, like I said, I only picked 10, but there's way more than 10. I just picked like these are the main 10. Fabulous for me is number 10. I love Fab's his wordplay is dope, and you know he has a lot of hit records. I don't feel like not one album he has is a classic though. I really don't. I don't feel like he has a classic album. He has many, some would say solid albums, but as far as classic, I don't feel like he has a classic album. I don't know how you feel about that, Reg. How do you feel about that?
well, Fabulous. He was already gonna be on my list. To be real with you,
Yeah,
but yeah, I never liked his discography
yeah.
for the most part and shit like that. Like the one song that I do tolerate is "Breathe," and I'm kind of tired of that song now, low
You
key,
tired of
because
breathe?
yeah, because everyone kept playing that shit.
Right.
Um, yeah, man, I never care. I never really cared for this track. I mean, artist discography.
Mm.
Yeah,
I like I said, like Fab got solid albums. I love Street Dreams. I think Street Dreams was one of his best albums. It's my personal favorite from him. From Nothing to Something was another dope album from him. I definitely enjoyed that album. Some would say that's his best album. I've heard people say that's his best album
same.
when it comes to his album stuff. But when you get Loso's Way was solid. Also, I like Loso's Way. That was a solid album too. But his mixtapes was still the best shit that he has to me. Salute Legion was good. Yeah, I had to put Fabulous number one because again, like his mixtapes in the mixtape era when it was G-Unit and Dipset, and you had D Block out there doing it, and you know Fab was like one of the main ones, and Weezy of course, because I was a big Weezy fan, you know, during the mixtape era. When you know Fab's mixtapes, there is no competition with DJ Drama and the Soul tapes and the Clue mixtapes. You know the Animal Instinct mixtapes and Perfect Storm mixtapes and all that he was on. It was great, but I've always felt like his mixtapes surpassed his albums. You know what I'm saying? And his albums were promoted. His albums were promoted. He was on a major label. His first album came out the same day as the Blueprint. It came out on 9/11. But everybody remembers the Blueprint. They don't even talk about Ghetto Fabulous.
Man,
You
they
know what I'm
remember the
saying?
Twin Towers.
Huh?
They remember the Twin Towers burning down over that
Right.
album.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I was telling you last week. I didn't go to the record store on that. I was supposed to be down there at the Twin Towers that day, bro. Like I wouldn't even be here right now if I woke up late. You know what I'm saying? But I can't even tell you the first album I bought after 9/11 because I wasn't, you know, like the city was just, you know, it was just crazy for during those times. Like I wasn't even thinking about buying no records at that time. So, but yeah, like Ghetto Fabulous. I remember hearing Ghetto Fabulous. It was a dope album, but it's not a classic. You know what I'm saying? He has solid albums. You know, Real Talk has some bangers. I don't think it was a good album though. I feel like he fell under that one of those New York artists that were trying to do what the South was doing at that time. You know, and you know, Fat Joe. I mentioned this last week. Fat Joe did that as well. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Fab got hits. I just don't feel like he has a single classic. You know, like a Big L, like we could say, like yo, like this is his classic album that we could put on Mount Rushmore and with the greats, and he don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Legion said Joel Santana. Joel Santana to me, his two he has two great albums is better than anything Jadakiss and Fab got, in my opinion.
I disagree.
I
On
think
a Ju-
from me to you, his first album to me was great, and What the Games Are Missing was a solid album. Even his mixtape, like he wasn't fully invested in the mixtape thing like Fabulous and Wheezy. Like he had some mixtapes, you know, Back Like Cook Crack was a dope mixtape series. Jewel's in the 2000s was on his game. Like he was a star of Diplomatic Immunity Volume One. Without him, that wouldn't have been a classic double disc to me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not putting Jewel's on it. I feel like Jewel's got two solid albums over Jadakiss and other artists like that. You know what I'm saying? He just fell off. He fell off at when he was trying to come out with the Reagan era album, and you know at that time Jay-Z was the head of Def Jam, and he kept pushing back the album. But I don't, you know, after that Jewel's got into trouble with the law. But I don't feel like, you know, he was a lazy artist at all. I think he had some early bangers. Legion said, "How about You God?" We gonna get to that. I didn't put You God on the list, but we
Me
gonna get to
either.
that. We're gonna get to that. I actually know the thing with You God. I actually like You God's albums, his latter albums. You know, if you
Same.
listen to Keynote Speaker and Venom, I think those are better than his early shit to me. You know what I'm
Venom
saying?
is hot.
Yes, Venom was underrated. It wasn't promoted. Like he been on like a lot of, you know, under the radar type of labels. But his latter work is actually better than his. Is there ain't too many artists I can say that their latter work surpasses their early work. It's usually the other way around. But I didn't like You Guys' first album. I thought it was the beats on it were trash, and I understand why because RZA had the floods or whatever, and you know rightfully You God was mad at RZA because of that because he was focused more on like Raekwon's albums and Ghostface and not his. But his latter stuff was better than his earlier work to me. But he's not making the list. He's not on the list. But I don't like he probably be the only exception where I could say like yo his latter albums are better than his early albums. Cause ain't too many artists like that I can think of that it's like that. You know. What's your artist that you got?
Well, my first person is Craig G.
Okay.
Decided to take it all the way back and shit like that.
Right.
Man, out of all the motherfuckers on Juice Crew,
Mm.
this was one of the cats that had on the most a lot of potential,
Right.
but Marley just dropped it with that first album, The
Definitely.
Kingpin. Oh my god, The Kingpin was just
I remember when we discussed that that album.
Yeah, and niggas would get at me for me giving like Walking with the Panther and Ghetto
Mm,
Music like solid ratings and shit like that. I'm
right.
just like, listen, this album in '89, I would listen to Walking with the Panther in a heartbeat.
Mm,
And truthfully speaking, Walking with the Panther is not really a bad album. It was just the love songs that was whack. If
right.
you ask me, but
Right.
y'all check out my review on that one because I'll go really in depth with that one. But
Mm,
and then the second album, we're gonna get into the Now That's More Like It, which I do admit this one was a lot more solid than Kingpin, but at the same time, it's like you can see with this album, you can see the mistakes they made with the Kingpin because of shit like that. I kind of consider Now That's More Like It his
right.
real first album,
Right.
even though it was like a really perfect album too. But yeah, man, his other shit, I mean, he's been kind of hit or miss. Like he has some joints from This Is Now that I did like, but I just felt like if that first album was a lot better, then his career could have fared a bit more better, in my opinion.
But why is it that Marley Marl gave classics to Intelligent Hoodlum and LL Cool J, but not to Craig G?
Because I think around that time in the late '80s, and this is my personal opinion, he was experimenting a lot in '89. And at that time too, the native tongues was coming out and they were experimenting with the house music a lot too. So I guess Marley Marl probably just took it like as like an East Coast thing, to get more commercial
Right.
success. Who
Right.
knows?
Yeah. I don't like
Um,
none of Craig G's albums.
yeah,
None. And
man.
he's always been a dope lyricist to me, but he have no good albums I could play.
I got another Juice Crew artist after Craig G too, so stay
Uh
tuned.
oh. Really another one?
Yeah,
Wow. I'm trying to
like
think
I said,
who could it
I'm
be?
really just I really went by my list by like freestyling. I went by my list by like different than how you went by. So I'll explain
Right.
why.
Okay. All right, number 9 I got this is one of my favorite lyricists of the 90s, of the late 90s. And to me this man, like, he killed LL in the battle. I don't care what nobody say about that. I'm still seeing people make discussions about that battle and saying that LL won. And yeah, you could say LL won because of the favoritism that was going on with radio at that time, New York radio. But to me, like, off song for song, I think Second Round Knockout is a 5 mic classic. This song right up there with No Vaseline and Ether. And it's a shame that the industry blackballed him. And I love Cannabis, but his albums were not good. Okay, it's the first album. We talked about his first album a couple months ago. It was not good. I blame Wyclef for that. Wyclef was like the main denominator in a lot of other artists, albums. John Forte, same with his first album, Polyside. Not a good album. And Wyclef was, the main, you know, person overlooking that album. And, City High, they're another one. Wyclef was the main person overlooking their first album, and then they broke up. And I think the common denominator was Wyclef in this. I think if he didn't use a lot of Wyclef and he used other producers, like a Primo or a Buck Wild, I think he would have had a great first album. His second album, I actually have 2000 BC. That was a solid album, a definite upgrade from his first one. But when you look at his discography, there's a lot of albums that went on the radar that I just ignored. A lot of people say Mike Club is his best album. I haven't heard Mike Club. A lot of
That
collectors, a lot of collectors on Instagram hit me up about that. Like, yo, you got to check out Mike Club. It's his best album.
that one and
And
I didn't mean to cut you off. My fault.
now go ahead.
That one and Rip the Jacket are the closest he'll ever make to quality album, in my opinion.
And so so you're saying his third and fourth album is his best over anything else?
Well, technically, his third album was the See True Hollywood Stories, and that was garbage. Wait, hold up.
I remember when that came out.
Yeah, that was his third album. That was back in '01 because
Yeah,
2000 BC was his second album, and that was decent
right.
and stuff like that. But that third album, See True Hollywood, that was horrible.
I don't even remember how I bought that album. I'm trying to remember how did I get that second album. It was either through Columbia House or maybe I was like somewhere in the city and I just saw it and bought it. I don't remember how I bought it though, but I have the second album.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Even though when I first heard Mic Club, I liked. I can't remember shit from those albums, man. It's like,
I don't remember it.
and I always thought Cannabis was overrated. I'm gonna be perfectly
You think
guys
so?
honest. He's over. He can spit. He's a dope
Right.
lyricist, but
Right.
when motherfuckers put him over Ras Cass, especially around that lane, I'm like,
Nah.
nah.
I
Cause
don't think he's better than Rascas.
and niggas talk shit about Solo Nice too, or talk about the production, which I'm looking at myself like the production on Solo Ice was way
Yeah.
better than Can I Bust.
Right.
Let's not go that far.
I agree.
Because I'm trying to. That's why I pushed this review back. Because I'm trying to
Right.
make this shit right. Because I'm gonna go off on this review and shit. I'm gonna go off on this
Right.
review, but yeah, Cannabis. And he's also another one that's on my list too. So
Right. See?
I'm going to say most of my
Great.
thoughts on that.
Great lyricist, but I wish his body of work was a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Like he never. I feel like the industry blackballed him after the whole LL thing, and it's a shame.
The same way they blackball Kumo D.
Right.
In
Exactly.
a way.
Right. Ronnie said, "What about Common? Common is not definitely not on this list. He got classics. To me, he got 4 classics. I'm not putting him on this list.
Yeah, man. He has more good albums than bad albums to me too.
Yes.
So he's good.
Hmm. Yeah.
All
You didn't
right.
care for his. You didn't care for Cannabis Flow, Legion. What? That dude. That he had like one of the best like verses on Fantastic Four on the Clue mixtape. I
I
love
can't. I
his
can't.
flow.
Yeah, I can't get mad at Legions about that shit. Sometimes his flow
You
can
didn't care
be
for his flow.
in. I
Did
like
you
his
did
flow in the earlier songs than the latter songs.
did you remember the freestyle he did on the Funk Flex mixtape? To the ice cream freestyle. That shit, we killed that joint.
I gotta re-listen to that one.
I was crazy, man.
Yeah. All
Bumpy
right. So
Knuckles. Oh,
hell no.
he said Bumpy Knuckles. You don't like Bumpy Knuckles? Bumpy Knuckles is. I think he got better when he with the name change though. Actually though,
Yeah.
I think like he was good as Freddie Fox. I think he got even better with when he changed the name.
Mm. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I didn't get that industry shakedown now. Speaking of Bumpy, but
Yes.
um, so mine. This one might come as a surprise, but bear with me.
Uh huh.
Roxanne Shantae.
I have her on the
Um,
list. She's actually
you
my
have
number
on.
8. She's number 8
Oh
for me.
wow.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Again, and bear with me, because I know she only dropped 2 albums, and
Mm,
a lot of that shit was not necessarily her fault.
right.
So Roxanne Shantae at that time, she was known as like a battle rapper because she was beefing with UTFO, the
Right.
real Roxanne and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Her first album did not really come out until 1989, like
Right.
years after all that shit, and
Right.
it was the Bad Sister album, which very bad album, no pun intended. Actually, it actually came. They said some sorts came out in '89, but in
Mm-hmm.
'88, but it actually did come out in '89. So this one, again, you had Marty Marl doing the house music feel and shit like that, and Roxanne Shantae, when it comes to her, she needs to have like hardcore beats. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like hard hitting drums, and so you have shit like she's doing the Independent Woman, which Independent Woman was okay.
Right.
They had remixes to Whack It and Have a Nice Day. I mean, this one was not really a good album. I mean, and the Bitches Back, that was a good album too. I liked Bitches Back a little bit more,
Right.
but my only gripe was the production was inconsistent and stuff
Right.
like that. And yeah, you had Cool G Rap doing some ghostwriting on the album, which
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can really tell the difference from that album lyrically and the Big Sister album. But this album to me, how can I put this? How can I put this? It had a lot of misguided attempts, but yeah. And so yeah, and then unfortunately, she had issues with Cole chilling with a manager to this day. They're
Right.
fighting over royalties to her music and shit like that. That's why she kind of retired out of music though. But she did drop this one dope song in '96
Right.
where she was talking about like abusive relationships. It's called hold on. Thin Line. Yeah, it's called Thin Line. That shit to me, fire, fire,
Right.
fire track. And DJ Polo actually produced that track if I'm not mistaken. So yeah,
Yeah.
very
It's
dope.
just um again, like she's a dope lyricist for her time in the '80s, and I just felt like Marley Marl should have been overseeing her albums. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And again, like he did with Craig G. I think he should have been overseeing the albums and the same file you gave LL and you gave, you know, you gave the other members of the Juice Crew, and later on in the '90s you gave Lords of the Underground and the Youngsters and all these other, Real Live and all these other cats. I felt like he dropped the ball with Roxanne and with Craig G. And these are people, again, these are MCs that people put on Mount Rushmore, and they don't have not one classic to their name to me. So like she's a great lyricist. I definitely grew up with a lot of Roxanne music and seeing her early videos and stuff, and seeing the biopic on Netflix. That was good. But what is her best album? I don't think anybody know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So she was number 8 on my list. That's crazy that you mentioned that. You know, what's your number 7?
Oh, ooh. My number 7. This one, You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Drake. Fuck it.
Oh wow, Drake.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna
Wow,
say it.
he said Drizzy,
And this one is my personal bias.
Drizzy Drake.
This is my personal bias and stuff like that because I really, really I listened to a good amount of his shit.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, the only album I can really say he came close to making a classic, and I use the word classic loosely with this one, it was Take
Mm-hmm.
Care. Because that album to me was him at his most serious, him at his most he mastered his sound. Like the Thank Me Later, when he did Thank Me Later, that one was cool, but it wasn't the major success people made it out to be. And when I'm going to talk about Drake, I'm talking about his albums, his
Right,
solo albums and stuff like
right. Well,
that.
that's all he
Because,
has. It's not like he had a group album.
well, the Drake and Future album, people want to
Oh
mention
yeah,
that.
but
And
they were a
then,
group. I just thought that was a collab album though.
yes, it's a collab group album, whatever.
Mm.
And then people want to throw in So Far Gone and the whole Scary
That's a
Out
mixtape.
mixtape EP.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
And then, of course, If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, which originally that was a mixtape, but now everyone is calling that an album now
Right, that
and
was a
stuff like
mixtape.
that too. So
Yeah.
when I'm talking about his album, I'm talking about Thank Me Later, Take Care, Nothing Was the Same, View, Scorpion, and Certified Lover Boy
Mm-hmm.
and shit like that. Nothing was the same. You guys, if y'all watch the overrated hip hop albums, I don't like that album. I'm gonna be real. Views was trash.
Then I like that one.
Yep. Scorpion, it had some okay shit.
Scorpion was dope.
It had some okay shit, but it shouldn't have been a double album. And I'm not touching Certified Lover Boy with a 10 feet pole. I've heard some songs. Yeah, I'm good on that. But yeah, and people call him an MC.
I don't look at him like that. He's an
I
entertainer.
don't look at him. He's an entertainer.
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Nelly is more of an MC than
No, I'm not going that far either.
whoa, 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 whoa,
I'm not going that
whoa,
far. You're gonna sit
whoa,
there. Hold up. You're gonna sit there and tell me Nelly is an MC more than Drake? Wow.
yes,
I'm
yes.
not going that
He,
far. But
because the way how he actually formulates his songs. That's what I'm trying to say. And hell, Nelly broke down the barriers for all this Drakes and shit like that. Let's be
how?
real.
What barriers? For who?
Like Nelly,
What
like
barriers? For St. Louis? Maybe. I don't know what barriers you're talking about.
shit.
What barriers did he break down? You're gonna
Nelly,
sit there and say, yeah, what barriers did he break down for hip hop?
because Nelly, he made it appropriate. He was like an alternate when it came to that, that hardcore sound and the way how
He has a
Drake would
hardcore
be.
sound. What
No,
is
it's
what
just
is
the hardcore sound of hip hop at that time, like with the Rough Riders, the Rockefellers, and shit like that.
he was?
Drake,
He was mainstream. He was pop.
yes,
That's
you
what he
can
was.
say that. You know what?
No, but that's what he was. He was a mainstream pop artist, like
Yeah,
Ja Rule,
mainstream.
like Drake. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
people
saying?
say that Ja Rule broke down the barriers for Drake too. That's what a lot of people
No,
say.
no, he did not.
I don't
The
believe that shit either.
MCing and singing, there were artists doing that already. Go back to the 80s. That was already
Exactly.
happening. They
Exactly.
didn't break down no barriers. But we could go back to the 90s, not even the 80s. We could go back to the 90s. Bone Thugs was rapping and harmonizing.
Right.
Okay? And Domino from the West Coast. People forget.
Ooh, niggas forget about my man
Okay?
Domino.
This
Niggas
has been
forget.
going on before. This is going on before Drake. This is not a new thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get it. This is the problem with this generation. They don't want to go back and hear they classics. This is
And
okay.
it's the
We're
same.
going on. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm saying Drake is not better than Michael Jackson. Yeah, I said it.
No,
Yep.
no, never, never. That conversation shouldn't even be brought up. You know what I'm saying? I seen like other podcasts on YouTube even like making a whole show. I would never make a show about that because I know where MJ is. You know he is the goat of all goats. I would never even discuss is Drake gonna be on that level. No, he's not. We know what Drake is. He's a dope artist. Me, I disagree with Reg. I think he do have some solid albums. I do feel like Take Care is one of his best. I love So Far Gone. That was a great mixtape, and that's what it is. It was a mixtape. This first album was dope. His first four to me, like, Nothing Was the Same to me was a dope album. I don't like Views. I don't care for More Life. If you're reading this, at that time it was a mixtape. I don't know people saying it's an album now, but that was dope. Scorpion. I actually have Scorpion. It was a dope double album. I don't think it should have been a double album, but I think it had some bangers on there. But he is what he is. I'm not going to put him ever in the same conversation with Griselda or with Rock Marcy or with J. Cole or Kendrick, because I don't think he's on that level with them. And I feel like all these years he's still trying to prove to people that he can rap and he belongs on that level. I don't think he not fucking with these cats. That's just what it is. Some people have it, some people don't. Okay, when you talk about popularity and mainstream, that's what he is. But when it comes down to bars, I don't feel like he's on that level with those cats. That's just me. And you don't have to be the best MC to have solid albums. There's a lot of cats that have solid albums and they're not great spitters. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
Black Thought is a great spitter. Does he have any classic album? He don't have not even one solo album. He has albums with the Roots. You know what I'm saying? So Fonte, another great spitter. Does he have any classic albums solo wise? No. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get into numbers and all that. I'm just going by talent. You
Sam
know,
said Houdini. Nah, Houdini. Their discography is consistent to me.
Houdini. I thought he was talking about Houdini like singing and rapping. I think he was talking about.
Oh,
I'm assuming that's what he was talking about. I don't know. Now Houdini
oh yeah.
discography not great album. You know what I'm saying? Like Open Sesame was not a good album.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Open
Did you like
Sesame.
that album?
That was the
That's
one after Back to Black, right?
the one where like they're like on that flying magic carpet or whatever.
That was
Is that
okay.
I didn't like that album at all,
That
man.
was okay, but
And I remember buying that shit when I was little. I'm like, yo, what is this shit that I just picked up?
to me, Escape
Mm.
and the Back to Black, those were their
Those are
magnum
good.
opus.
Yeah, yeah. Those are better
especially
albums.
Back in Black. That was like their tougher than leather, in my opinion.
Right. Those are great albums. You know what I'm
And
saying?
even around
Mm,
that time, Houdini, they were going through money issues around that time too. So they kind of phoned those albums in, like the
right.
1987 one and the 1991 one too.
Right. Facts. Yeah. Um. I just felt, yeah. Drake is, we know what he is. You know. Um. Joel Ortiz, another dude.
Really?
Good artist. Yes. I don't think he has a classic album. What's his classic album?
Interesting. I mean, I wasn't expecting him on this list though. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? 'Cause I know the underground community, they hold him in high regards too. So
right. What's his classic album though? He don't have one. He have mixtapes. What's his classic album?
I remember years ago, I did like the Brick Bodega Chronicles.
Mm,
That's that Brooklyn bullshit. That's my
nah.
shit.
He have some
Yo,
dope mixtapes. I don't like none of his albums like that though. Except for like
man.
the project he did with what's her name? Bodega Bams and MC E Scott.
True. Okay. Alright.
You know?
What the fuck are you watching? Reality TV or some shit?
Yeah. That's my shit is on loud on it.
Uh, Speaking of live, shout out to Unwrap Generation for letting me on his live IG last night.
4 a.m. He
Yeah.
was on. That shit was good.
Alright. It's on me.
Yeah. What you got?
Young Buck.
What? Well, Young
Yes,
Buck?
sir. Young Buck.
Yo, you
Young
wildin'.
Buck.
You wildin'.
You know, I read
Where Reg at? We lost Reg. He be back. Oh, there he is.
uh-oh. I pressed the
What
X.
happened, yo?
I pressed the X button by mistake.
I'm like, I
Niggas
know
like
I
young
didn't do that shit.
shit. But yeah, yeah, I didn't really care for it. The Straight Outta Cashville album. I mean, it was alright. I mean, we recently done a review on that one, but
Yeah,
I never cared for Young Buck. I
I
always
love
thought
Young.
he was him and Tony Yayo were like the weakest links on G Unit. Be real with you.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, man. Fuck the World. Oh my god, that was that was not a good album, man. Like,
I
I
can't believe
mean,
that.
yeah, man. I just have to be real with you. I mean, I'm not just trying to. I'm gonna have like everybody from different coasts and shit, man. Some motherfuckers you're gonna be surprised about, but yeah,
Young Buck. I can't believe you said that.
yeah, man. So what?
Wow.
What the fuck is
To
you gonna
me,
do?
to me, Young Buck's first album is a classic. I loved Straight Outta Casual. You know, I think it's under. I think it's a lot better than Tony Yayo's first album. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, I agree on
You
that.
know, you know what I mean? Yeah, Buck the World. I don't remember that when I actually got both of them. I need to go back and listen to Buck the World, but Straight Outta Casual was fire, man. I loved it. I think it was a great album. You know, anything else after that, I ain't chuck for. So only the June and stuff.
And try, you're gonna hate me for my next pick.
Oh boy, what you got? Oh man,
This is
you
actually
got.
fun, low key.
All right, let me see. What I'm up to number. I'm up to number 6. All right. Um, number 6. Another dope MC. Why you laughing? I ain't
I'm
even
watching
say.
the
Oh,
Golden Girls.
number 6 for me. Another dope MC. I don't think that he have any classic albums though, man.
Whoa, okay,
Talking
now
about
you're going
Royce
too
the
far.
Five. How am I going too far?
Whoa, you
How
say
am I
his
going too far?
discography is bad?
I don't think you have a classic. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he has a classic album.
Okay, I want to hear what you have to say. All right. Mm.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not
I
saying
don't know.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying he don't have a classic album to me though. You
Oh,
know
okay,
what
okay.
I'm saying? Like when you look at like albums like Bad Meets Evil, that was a good album to you. I thought that was terrible. The
Which
production on
one?
there was trash. Bad Meets Evil
Oh, that was
with
horrible.
Eminem. Did not like that
Horrible.
album. And I waited for that album because I thought that was gonna be like a classic album, like especially going back to the Slim Shady LP and they did that Bad Meets Evil collab. That was great, and they did stuff like Scary Movies, and I was waiting for that album, and that shit was terrible. The Allegory, I didn't like that album. Um, the only album I liked that Royce did was was it Death is for certain. That's the name of it. The one with the boom joint on there.
Oh, Rock City.
Rock City and I think it's Death is for certain, Death is success, something like that.
Yeah, Death is
And
certain.
Death is certain, I like that, and I like the album he did with Primo. That's it. I didn't like none of his other albums. You know what I'm saying? I'm
See,
like,
to
but
me,
what is his one definitive classic album as a solo as a like just with him and nobody else?
Book of Ryan to me was.
Look
I
around,
felt like
okay.
his latter shit to me, like everything from Book of Ryan up. And I am going to actually include Prime. Let me scratch it. Everything from Prime up. He's
Yeah,
been dropping some of his best shit. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
I'm more of a Book of Ryan person, if
Look around,
anything.
and I don't even hear people mentioning that album. It's,
Yeah.
it's the Allegory or it's Prime.
Allegory was good too.
Allegory was
Well,
good to you. I
yeah,
heard it. I didn't like the production on it.
I've heard people say that, but
You know what I mean?
yeah. But to me, Rock City, his first album was cool, but some of the production kind of helped. It was not
But
really that good. I feel like
is
Death is Certain
is it a
was way better.
classic? Is any of those albums a classic though? That's what I'm saying.
Universal classics, no.
Right.
Arguable classics, yes.
Okay.
That's just how I see it.
Okay.
All right. You said Royce. This guy, I'm just gonna say because I never really cared for him.
Hmm.
Father MC.
Oh wow.
I'm taking it way back, y'all.
I'm
Big Daddy Kane's
taking it way
understudy.
back.
Oh my God, where do I even begin with this cat?
You taking it
Jesus.
way back.
The fact that I'm calling him a rapper is just like, oh my God. Like, come on, man. Jack and Kane's whole fucking steez, man. Come the fuck on. Like, the only thing I care about him is
Yeah.
just he brought Mary J. Blige and Jodeci on his first album to national success. That was just the greatest thing he ever put out since humanity. But his music is just so cheesy. Oh
See,
my!
I liked Father again. I knew what he was. He was like Drake. I knew what he was even back then. He was an entertainer. He wasn't an MC. He was an entertainer. He was great. I saw him live. That was my first concert. Uptown MCA tour, 1992. I liked his albums. I liked the first album was decent. I prefer Close to You. I think that's one of his best albums. And even Sex
Mm.
is Law from '93. I think Sex is Law was a dope album. The problem with Sex is Law being that we had like the gangster, the G Funk was big at that time. He was trying to do what the West Coast was doing. And I'm like, and Father MC is not Snoop Dogg. So I think that's where he fucked up at with that album. But Close to You, to me, is his best album.
And just like even some of the songs alone, it just has a Big Day Kane vibe. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Yeah.
If you look at his first album and shit like that, I'll do for you
Hmm.
and shit like that. You can just probably say, Kane, I can get the job done and shit like that. I don't know if it's just me and shit.
Oh man.
Shit. And then of course he has his own funk cover and shit like that. You know, he has his own cover. Kane had his own cover and shit like that. It's just like it's just no originality, man. In my opinion, and of course, Puffy was executive producing this shit. So
Right.
this was early Puff before Bad Boy, so he was
Mm,
still dropping ships back at
right.
that time. But you know
But
what?
he had some big records. Was it Treat Them Like They Want to Be Treated?
Yeah,
That
it was
joint.
big, but
Um,
man,
uh,
man,
One Night Stand. He had Everything's Gonna Be Alright with Jodeci. He had 69. He had some big hit records from those albums.
mm,
You know. Um, what Sam said he definitely bit off with some Big Daddy Kane.
some
Ronnie said he was a dollar store Kane. I never saw the Kane comparison with him.
he would. Hell, like look at the hairstyle. Look at the clothes, man. Like
Everybody had that on. Kwame had that shit. He
no,
was he was rocking the
okay. Well,
streak in his
at
high
least
top fade.
Kwame was original with his style.
He was where with the polka dots that shit.
No. Let's stop with the whole Kwame
Hey,
hate. Let's stop with
Kwame
the
was
whole
okay. He
Kwame
was
hate.
okay. I
He
wasn't
was,
a huge fan of Kwame, but he was okay.
yeah, he wasn't no Kid and Play or Jazzy Jeff or Fresh Prince, but he was,
Yeah.
ever since Biggie's had that line played out like Kwame, that's when this whole
Well,
Kwame hate
well,
train started.
we
Ever
said
since
that.
Biggie said,
We said that before. Big even mentioned that line, yo. We was
no,
thinking
but when
that.
Biggie, even in the unsung, Kwame said ever since Biggie said that line, that's when everybody hated Kwame. That
But he got more popular since then.
yeah, because
Like
he was a producer.
yeah,
That's how you do it.
right.
Because Kwame produced some dope shit. Like
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah. I mean, he did some stuff with G Unit and all that, Yeah,
Ironically,
but right, but I mean, we wasn't even back when he came out. I was like, the polka dots. Like, who was really rocking polka dots like that? You know what I'm saying? It's like it just seemed like a gimmick. You know what I'm
they
saying? Like,
lost. Hold up, Pasta Deuce was rocking polka dot.
yeah,
Let's.
but De La, he ain't De La. De La was abstract. Native Tongues was abstract. That was a whole abstract collective. It wasn't just about Tribe was abstract and Jungle Brothers and De La and you know what I mean. That abstract niggas in that crew. You know what I mean? It was okay for them to do that because that was their style. Kwame, I didn't know what Kwame was bringing at that point to the game. It was just polka dots and a high top fade with blonde in it, and you
That
know what I mean?
that one video of fucking Play was doing them weird faces and pointing at the camera and shit.
Right. Kwame had his. There were people that liked Kwame because he was different. He was alright. He's not trash. You know. So the Sam said De La Soul was better.
Played out like Kwame and them polka dots.
it was just a catchy line. You know what I'm saying? Like
this
you know.
this coming from the nigga that says you look so good, I'll suck on your daddy's dick.
There you go. Oh man, you got Biggie rolling in his grave, man.
Actually, that's a Richard Pryor line. Oh, he's on my list. Oh,
Yes, Joe Budden.
oh.
Joe Budden, definitely.
I was gonna save the
Again,
best for last. Shit.
another dope MC. He did his thing on the mixtapes. I listened to a lot of those mixtapes, Mood Music, and the stuff he did with Desert Storm when he was down with Clue and them. He have no classic albums to me though. You know what I'm saying? Like his first album, Def Jam, was not a classic. There's maybe like 3 songs on that whole album that I liked. I didn't care for none of his other albums. I heard No Love Lost and all these other Love Lost albums he had and didn't care for none of them. you know. Again,
You know what?
another he's a dope lyricist. Dope lyricist. I just wish he had the body of work to stand behind those lyrics.
I agree.
You know.
You know what? I'm just gonna be real, man. I'm just gonna just say my thoughts on Joe
Yeah,
Budden.
say your thoughts, man. What you mean?
Because I was gonna say this. I was gonna save him for last. Really,
Okay.
but you know what? I have to just say because
Mm-hmm.
I never saw the hype for him as a rapper. Even when he was doing music, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like, and motherfuckers always want to say, "Oh well, his mixtapes are way better," and shit like, well, his mixtapes are better, but anybody can make a good mixtape and shit.
Right,
When we real,
right.
anybody can make a good mixtape and shit, but his albums suck.
Yeah,
His albums just fucking suck.
I did not like it.
Like, I think no, I'm not even gonna say closest because I never really I can't. It's forgettable. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you ever go to a flea market and you have those motherfuckers that buy it that's be selling them hip hop albums and they be putting like the hip hop albums in the plastic
Right.
and you can tell the album is bad because the cover is like some Photoshop bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I think of his albums and shit like
He,
that. You
I,
know what
I
I'm saying?
liked him in Slaughterhouse. I think he was good for that crew, but
Oh,
solo wise, I don't. Hmm?
you mean the crew that he was in for like 2 seconds before he got kicked out?
What I don't know what happened with him and Eminem. He had some disagreement with and supposedly it was over Revival, and I would have told Eminem the same thing. That Revival sucked. So if you can't take that criticism from your peoples, then you in the wrong field.
Nah, that was way after and
That
shit
was way
like that. Cause
after.
that was way after
Well,
and shit.
I thought that was the reason why they had the beef because he told
Nah,
Eminem.
I'm gonna send you the video, but it was like a lot of shit he was doing in the group that he was doing some really underhanded shit. Even he got into it with Crooked too
I
and
didn't know
shit
that.
like that. Like it
What
was
I
like a
thought
really
he.
a lot of
I didn't know that.
yeah. Like niggas always trying to make Joe like, oh, Joe, poor Joe. Nah, Joe does some shit that
Well, listen,
yeah, like
he
don't
not
have to
he.
JC
Right.
alone, man.
I was about to say that. Like he ain't no saint because I remember when he was on Def Jam and he was going at Jay-Z. So you know what
Like
I'm saying? Like he has his faults about it. But when I saw it, when Revival came out and Eminem did that interview with Sway, he mentioned that was why they had the beef because he went on social media and said that Revival sucked.
that was one of the reasons, but it was like some shit he did before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I'm being real with you and shit like that.
Mm,
People want to say Revival because Revival was just that bad of an album that they just want to
yeah.
blame everything on that album and shit. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
like,
Revi-
that, oh, go ahead.
Revival was bad. I would have told Eminem, you want to know my honest opinion? Coming from a fan of yours since my name is Revival sucked. Like you're not making great music anymore like you used to. Like that's just what it is. So if he can't take that criticism from his peoples, then he in the wrong line of work.
Mm,
You know, it's better that you take it from somebody like Joe who knows you compared to taking it from a stranger like me. I'm not
right.
gonna pull no punches when it comes to this shit. So you know,
Yeah, man. But you know what? I'm just glad he found his calling in podcasting and broadcasting
right,
because I feel like he's much better with that
right.
and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
He could still spit now. Like I don't suggest anybody getting into a verbal war with him because he got bars, but his body of work don't reflect that. You know what I'm saying? Like no, I don't think none of his solo albums were great. You know, you know who you got? Who you got next?
No, it's on you.
I picked Joe Budden. You
Yeah,
picked
I
Joe
said
too?
Joe. I said, you know what? I'm going to use my pick to go Joe
Oh,
Budden
okay,
and shit. Yeah.
okay. Well, I got another mixtape rapper. His homeboy, Papoose.
Oh
Another
damn, he was
one.
on my list.
I think we have the same list then. And we didn't even collaborate about it. Yeah, Papoose, great MC. I love his mixtapes again. He did his thing, done the whole mixtape ever with Saigon and with True Life and you know Stack Bundles, rest in peace. You know they did their thing on the mixtapes, but his album was not good. Nakarima Dream they shelved. That's how bad it was. They shelved that shit, and I didn't hear that joint till like 2012 or some shit like that, and it was not a good album. It was not an album that we were waiting for, and he still hasn't put out a great album since then.
Mm,
You know, great,
you know,
dope spitter. He's from my hometown. He's from Brooklyn. Dope spitter, but you have no classic albums, man, and that's sad to say.
yeah. I'm gonna save my thoughts on Papoose because I was
Okay,
gonna pick a West Coast rapper because I didn't. I gotta
I
get somebody from the West Coast and surprisingly, Tweety Bird Loke.
oh god, Who's he from?
Compton.
Oh Lord,
You know who Tweety Bird Loke is, right?
no. So I'm asking,
Okay,
who is he
okay.
from?
Okay. So Tweety Bird Loke, he was Easy E's homeboy, right?
Is this him? This Tweety Bird Loke dude?
Yeah.
Okay.
So long story short, he was Easy E's homeboy and stuff like that, and he had Easy E had wanted where he said like if Easy E saw him go famous and shit, like if he was going famous, he was gonna put him on and shit like that.
Right.
But then I think Easy E was saying some shit how he was whack and stuff like that. So Tweety Bird Loke, he's pretty much like a diss song rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like he made
This
his
song
whole career
rapper.
making diss tracks to everybody from NWA to Boogie Down Productions
Right.
to Queen Latifah. Yes, I said Queen
He just Queen
Latifah.
Latifah? Wow.
Yeah, he had a song called "Who You Calling a Bitch" and shit like that. Cause
Wow. The
he just
UNIT?
he dissed Queen Latifah because she had that song UNITY, and
Right.
Tweety Bird Loke pretty much didn't like the fact that she made a song about women's empowerment and shit like that. And
Crazy.
this was around the time when people were the lesbian rumors was coming. Well, it was all throughout her career, shit like that. And he was like, "How you gonna call yourself a queen, but you don't like dick and shit like that?" He just
Oh
Will
man.
Smith, third
Oh boy.
base. Like, yeah, you get the point, right? You get the
Yeah, he
point.
did some legends. That's what he's doing.
Um, Hoes with attitude, like, and
Mhm.
I've heard some of his albums, and it
Trash.
was just so bad.
It was trash.
Like 20 songs too fucking long. Like some of the song titles are "My Dick Is Prejudice."
Wow. That's the
Uh,
that's the title of his song? What the
yeah,
fuck? Wow.
but I'm not gonna lie. The diss track to Boogie Down Productions and Tim Dog,
Hmm.
"Fuck the South Bronx." That's his best diss track, and
Right.
I talked about that when I did the underrated diss tracks. You know what I'm saying? Because that beat is fire. I'm not gonna lie, but
Hmm.
he had other songs like "I'm Calling You a Bitch." That's the Queen Latifah diss track. Dub Sack. Um, Y'all Can't Fuck With Us, where he dissed Easy and MC Ren and shit like that. And Easy E dissed. I mean, they squashed their beef, but when he did they possibly put out the straight out the motherfucking streets of Compton. He
Right.
had a song called "Old School Shit" where he dissed Pretty Bird Low and shit like that
Wow.
too. Which, yeah, man. I mean, if you guys want a good laugh, then we already mentioned that Q. If you guys want a
Yes.
good laugh, then pretty much listen to his albums and shit like that. It's Tweety Bird Low.
Right. Wow. Oh boy.
And by
um.
the way, he died last year, so rest in peace.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Crazy. Your boy right here, Talib Kweli. Your boy. What's
Mm.
up with your boy Talib, man?
Believe it or
How
not, he is actually not on my list. Believe it or
he's
not.
not on your list? What? All this shit
Yeah,
talking that you had about Talib.
because
Not on your list.
because I actually do like quality. I like
It's dope.
eardrum, and I tolerate the Madlib project.
Hmm.
So I didn't really put him on my list because of that. But he's still a shitty ass.
What's the
He's
Madlib
like
project?
no, he's not top 10, but he's not on my list. But he's still number
What
11.
what's the Madlib project?
Liberation back in
Oh,
'06.
Liberation. I
Yeah,
gotta hear that. I love quality. It's a dope debut album. It's not a classic to me though. I don't. He has a classic, but it's with Mos Def. His solo stuff is not classic. He has he
yes.
has he has mediocre shit. He has trashy albums. Beautiful Struggle. I liked. It's not a classic. A lot of people don't care for that album.
Wait, I thought you
Um,
liked that album.
I like Beautiful Struggle, but it's not a classic.
That album is
A
trash.
lot of people don't like that album. Okay, there's other albums he have later on that was not good. You know what I'm saying? And he's a talented MC. But again, his classic is with Mos Def and Black Star. That is his classic. Reflection Eternal. Some would argue that's a classic too. With the first album at least. That's it. All his other albums, either they mediocre or they not good at all. You know. again, Quality was a dope solo album. I like that. That's his best album to me as a solo artist. Still, that's still his best one. I liked the Indie 500 album with Ninth Wonder. That was slept on.
Trash.
But but again, he
I
don't have
love
that.
Night.
Right. Again, he don't have that one definitive classic album in his body of work. You know what I'm saying? And again, another MC from Brooklyn. I love him. Just like Papoose, but they don't have no classics. At least he got a classic as a group. I need to see a classic from him as an artist though, as a solo artist. So yeah, that's my number my actually that was my number 2, but we're gonna make him number 3, so that's my number 3.
Yeah, man. Even though I don't really care for him these days. Yeah, I didn't really put him on my list because I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna give him the pass for today
Right,
because there's other motherfuckers I want to think about what I never really
right,
expressed.
true. Okay.
Papoose.
Oh boy.
No,
You back to Papoose.
back to Papoose.
Oh Lord.
I'm just gonna be perfectly honest. I
Hmm.
remember when the Touch It remix came out,
Right.
which I'm trying to get that out before Monday. I'm really trying to get that out before Monday and shit
What's
like
that?
that.
The Big Bang?
Yeah, Busta.
Okay.
Because spoiler alert, I do got Kiss the Game Goodbye on the way and shit. Like I told you I was gonna get.
Oh my Lord.
Yes, I did. But yeah,
Oh
so
Lord.
but yeah, Papoose, I just never
Hmm.
and I'm gonna give all of my attention to the Not Creama Dream, aka the American Dream backwards.
Hmm.
What a huge letdown. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Hmm.
This this is a trash review that's coming very soon. I just
Oh
feel
shit.
like when the Touch Of remix came out, man, everybody was talking about his verse and shit like that, which his verse was good.
Right.
But I'm not gonna lie. When Mary J. Blige came out in that Brook phase and shit like that, she ate Papu. I'm gonna be real.
Right.
And like I said, I'm gonna say my thoughts because my thoughts on that song is gonna surprise everybody and shit, you know. But
Oh boy.
yeah, yeah, man, that might be my most surprising Buster review anyway. So,
Oh boy.
but yeah, but then Papoose is just that I never cared for him. He's like another rapper with the mixtapes when mixtapes were very popular
Hmm.
and shit like that, you know. And when the Not Cream of Dream came out, I was like, okay, you know, because it wasn't really promoted well. To be real with you, I was like looking on Hip Hop Theater and Papoose dropped his album. I'm like, what?
Right.
After like 8,000 years, this motherfucker, like,
Exactly. Hmm.
and yeah, the production was just dated. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, and this is my thing. If you know, and if you know, yeah, the production's gonna be dated and shit like that. If you have songs back in Otis or any songs that's been leaked, maybe you should just start a new album from scratch. Maybe, but
But I blame Buster because he signed $1 million deal with Flip Mode, and you know what how Buster did. Buster never put out none of his artists. Rod Digg only came up with one album, and Rampage only came up with one album. Lord Have Mercy never came up with anything. Rock Marcy was a part of Flip Mode. People forget, and he had to leave to do his own thing. You know what I'm
well,
saying? So I think part of that is Buster too, because Buster it was all about Buster, and he didn't care about the other Flip Mode members.
yeah, Buster's not a good businessman and shit like that. I'm
Right.
just gonna be real. I love
Right.
Buster. He's one of my favorite MCs.
Hmm.
He is top 25 at least.
Right.
But when it comes to the Flip Mode squad, he let a lot of balls drop. Y'all talk
Hmm.
about Fat Joe, but
Fat Joe too. Yes. Fat Joe
yeah,
too.
Fat Joe too. But come on, like
Hmm.
Buster, he had Lord Have Mercy,
Hmm.
Rob Digger,
Yep.
Split Star.
Right.
Who else? Who else? Who else? Rock Marciano, like you
Right.
mentioned,
Yeah. Baby Sham.
Baby Sham, like,
Hmm.
and that crew, Flip Mode Squad, was not like any other crew at
Right.
that time. Like, especially like when you hear albums like The Coming and
Hmm.
like the Dirty Harry album, and I want to even Rampage too.
Right.
He
Chauncey
was
Black. That's right. Chauncey Black signed with Flip Mode
yes.
after he left
For
Blackstreet.
what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. After he left Black, but it was brief. He didn't put out nothing with them. He might have put out like one 12-inch single or something, but he didn't drop no album.
Yeah, man. And then And like with Rod Digger and shit too. Like I love the Dirty Harriet album, but that unreleased first album was way better and shit.
I
But
never heard that one. The one
I,
before Dirty Harry? I never heard that one.
yeah, I'm not mistaken. I think that was way before Flip Mode, but
Mm, okay.
I just felt like they could have did more to promote her. And wink, wink, she's also on a Touch of remix and shit.
But
But
she put out an album, and so did Rampage under Flip Mode. What happened to the other members? There was a time when it was almost like 7 8 members in that crew.
exactly,
What happened
because
to the other members?
there were a lot of personnel changes between the ELE and Anarchy and shit too.
Right.
Because Busta was having like he was having like, and I was watching the behind the music too
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Because
For Buster, it's out already.
yeah,
I got to see that. I didn't watch. I didn't see it.
yeah, it's very good, very good.
Mm.
Yeah, man. But yeah, actually, let me
Q,
go back to
Q
Pop
said
Music.
Q said do one on Ice Cube and Eminem got classics. I'm talking about artists that don't have any classics. They got their classics already. That's why
Yeah,
I didn't put them on the list.
he has NWA, West Side Connection, Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. We talking
Even
about
though
artists that don't have a classic.
but that's another list I want to do.
You
MCs
want
who
that?
fell off.
Who fell off? Right.
Yes,
That'll be part 2.
that'll be part 2. Well, technically part 3 because we did
Part 3.
mention.
Yeah. Part
Yeah.
3. Right.
But yeah, Papoose, yeah, not a favorite.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. With you on that one. It seemed to be some of the mixtape dudes on this list for me.
Because that was around the time when albums was not selling and everybody was making a big deal about mixtapes. And don't get me wrong, I love a good hip hop mixtape and shit like that, but it's a mixtape, not an album. Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
I got Cassidy.
oh my goodness.
That is a no brainer. Again, like his first album was trash. I remember my homeboy gave me this first album on bootleg, and and it was so bad that I threw away the bootleg. That's how bad the album was.
Not
That
throw away
that-
the
Yes, I threw away the bootleg. It was bad. You said R. Kelly could not save that album with that hotel joint. I didn't care for that song. You know what I'm saying? That was a blatant attempt at radio play, and the second album was better. The I'm a Hustler album, that was better. It had better Swiss Beats production on there. I think Weezy was on that album as well. He took his time with that album. The second album is better, but it's still not a classic. Yeah, and he just fell off after that. But again, this is a dude I used to watch on the mixtape DVDs, like Smack DVD. He was always battling, rhymers like Murder Mook and J Mills. Epic freestyle battles. He's a freestyle battler. That's what he do. That is his niche. He is a battler. When it come to albums, he can't do it. And that's why we haven't gotten no other albums from him, because he know his lane at this point. You are a battle rapper. But yeah, I had to put him on the list, unfortunately. But again, he's a dope spitter. I just don't have you have no classic albums.
What number we at right now?
I'm at 2. This was number 2 for me.
Number 2. I'm gonna mention Cannabis.
Yes.
I didn't give my smoke to him yet.
Yes.
Because my number 1 is gonna be very controversial.
Oh boy.
Very.
I don't like when you say that. You already said Young Buck. I'm like, I think Young Buck already had a classic album.
Well, like I said, with my list, it's gonna be like more bad albums than good. Because I didn't know if you necessarily mean classic. Because
right.
Okay, yeah.
I just meant MCs that don't have a classic album in the whole discography.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I still think Young Buck won't have a classic. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. Just this. Where do I begin with this guy? Where do I begin? No, second round knockout. I do admit, I do think Cannabis can spit.
Yeah.
I do think he can spit. But at the same time, when it comes to an album, I feel like Major Mistakes fucking album up, in my opinion.
Right.
And there'll be motherfuckers that pretty much would say how he is a GOAT, he is a legend. I'm just like,
Of what?
I mean,
Beating
he's
LL?
good, but
He beat LL. That's legendary. to me.
I mean, he's good, but is he really that good? I mean,
Not a goat.
not a goat.
Not a goat. He's a goat is like is Nas and Jay-Z. He's not up there.
Exactly. But yeah, I just felt like this guy. He had, and then the whole. Don't even get me started on the whole disaster battle and shit. Like, don't even get me started. Oh my.
And that was disappointing because I picked Cannabis to beat Fredro. Was it Fredro Star or was it Sticky Fingers? It was Fredro, right?
No, no,
It was
no.
Fredro.
It was disaster.
Oh my bad. I'm thinking of Keith Murray and Fredro Star. Okay. Yeah, I heard about that. And he was using writtens on him or something.
Yeah, he pulled out his notepad and shit.
Oh God, I'm glad I didn't see that. That would have been disappointing. It's crazy. Nah,
Yeah,
I
my
I
number
just
one was gonna go ahead.
now I was just saying I'm like nah that's crazy. Like I don't expect that from Cannabis. Do not expect that from Cannabis. My number one, you already know who I'm going with. You already know who I'm going with. The GOAT to many people. Where's
Oh,
BJ at? I hope BJ sees this. The GOAT to many people. You
oh,
already
that's
know who I'm
cute.
going with. I
That's
love.
cute.
Listen, Jada Kiss is a great lyricist, but he don't have a classic at all to me. Okay, his best album to me still is Kiss the Game Goodbye. It is not going to change ever. There's no album he could do right now unless I heard there's rumors that Westside Gunn was gonna do his next album. He needs Westside Gunn to do that because Westside Gunn has an ear for beats and features, and he would know how to promote that Jadakiss album that the other labels couldn't promote it. So I hope we do let Westside Gunn executive produce the album because then we probably have a classic. But right now, no, I don't feel like he has a classic. I don't like his other albums. You know, the other than the first one, and I like the album he did with Fabulous, ironically. And I feel like Fabulous don't got no damn classic, but that album they did together was dope. But other than that, I don't like none of his other albums. You know,
Well,
but he's a great MC. Easily, he could be top 5, top 10 all time. But you don't have no classic albums to show for it.
that's cute. The same way I feel about your boy is the same way I feel about my number one pick,
Oh, Young Buck.
Joel Santana.
Oh, you would you so you and Legion agree that Jewels don't have a
He
solid
does
album, a
not have
classic album.
nope.
You
And
don't. To me, I feel like Jewel's 2 albums is better than anything JD just got.
whoa, no, 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 no,
Kiss the
no.
Game, Kiss the Game Goodbye. From Me to You is better than Kiss the Game Goodbye. It is
I
a
would,
better album, and What's the Game Been Missing is better than Kiss of Death.
man, I would say the last kiss and Kiss the Game Goodbye shits all over
Hell
Joel's
no.
album.
The
Yeah.
Last Kiss, The Last Kiss. They didn't even promote that album. What big hit came from that Last Kiss album?
The one with Neo beat by my side.
That wasn't no big hit.
That was a hit. What the fuck
By
you
My
talking about?
Side, By My Side. I don't even
Man,
remember that song with Neo. I don't remember. I remember By Your Side. I don't remember By My Side.
that was what I'm talking about. Yeah.
You talking about By Your Side?
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up and see.
By
Hold
Your
on.
Side is from isn't that from
Yeah,
Kiss
by
of
my
Death?
side.
Oh,
That was
By My
from the
Side.
last two. Yeah.
No, I know. I don't like that song.
Can't stop
I don't
me.
even remember that song. That song was none of those songs were memorable in Last
Motherfucking
Kiss.
who's real? Who's
Come
fake?
on,
Come on,
really?
come on.
That song,
That was
that
big.
Swiss Beat shit.
That was big back in '09.
If you put DMX on that would have made a big hit. He would have made it a hit.
They had a remix.
Is DMX on
If
it?
I'm not hold on, they had a remix and he was on the remix. Hold on, yes. He
That
was
should
on the
have
remix.
been given to DMX though, not Jada, because DMX would have made it a hit.
But
The
so,
Last
like I
Kiss.
said,
You think The Last Kiss is better than the first 2 Joel albums? What? Are you serious?
yes, like I said,
Wow.
it's not Jada Kiss at
You
his
know what
best.
joints was on From Me to You? Down. He had that. That was a big joint.
I never cared for
Yeah.
Joel's. Okay, Q, I'm not gonna go that far.
He's
Not
a
gonna
ripper
go
for
that.
Tupac. What do you know? What are you
No,
smoking? Hell, fucking
no,
no.
no. He
Not
was more
everybody
flash,
is Tupac,
way
bro.
more flashier than Pop. Way more flashy.
Ja Rule, you want to say Ja Rule ripped Tupac off? That's one thing. Not Joel Santana.
Nah.
Holy
To
shit.
me,
What are you Sacramento niggas drinking out there, yo? The fuck?
Yeah,
I
man.
never heard that. Drugs is a Tupac ripoff.
And yes, no, I'm not like when I was going there, I wasn't really the biggest Dipset fan. Like Cameron shit, I fuck with Cameron shit. Jim Jones, depend like latter Jim Jones.
Jim is elevated into a good artist.
Yes, he's elevated.
Yeah.
The affiliates, I'm not like the biggest. Like I'm more of a G Unit person than Dipset. I'm gonna be
Some of the
real.
affiliates were good. I like Purple City um and Jail Rider and Hell Rel. I didn't care for. I wasn't too big on 40 Cal and other than his first
Yeah,
album and Jaja and them ain't even come out. SAS from London they didn't even come out with anything.
yeah, man. But yeah, this is a fun list. It's just
So
fun.
you have Jewel Santana at number one.
Yes, I do.
Holy shit! Wow. I
Like I
I think
freestyle.
controller.
I
You
freestyle the
freestyled it. That's what
yes.
you're gonna look back at this and be like, yo, I fucked up.
No, because I've always felt I've never really been a big Jewels fan. Like,
Wow.
never really been a big Jewels fan. Hell, I'm not gonna lie. I love the group Do or Die. I love Do or Die, but I never felt they had a classic album either. Just be real.
Wow.
Even though the Picture This album that was good, is not
Hmm.
a classic.
Wow. Okay.
Hell, I'm not done. Lil Kim, Hardcore, her only classic album.
No, but these are M's. These are artists that don't have a classic. She at least she have a classic.
Okay, okay.
You know these are just artists that don't have a classic in their discography. As far as solo, not any group thing that they've done, just solo shit.
Okay.
You know what I'm
What about
saying?
She Cooch?
He don't got a classic. He could have easily made the list. Yeah, that's your honorable mention. She Glooch.
Well,
I like Walk With Me, but it's not a
yeah,
classic
yeah,
album.
yeah. I don't mention. Yeah,
Walk With Me was a dope album, but it's not a classic to me.
I even like the Silverback Gorilla. No one talks about that.
After taxes, I remember some songs. But again, it's not a classic to me. Silverback Gorilla, I didn't care for. I didn't like it. I didn't like
Well,
his stuff.
what the fuck?
No,
What
no.
the
I like
fuck?
you know what his mixtapes from the 2000s when he's just freestyling over different beats. That's what he's good at. I don't care to hear his mixtapes to me are not good when he's like the Silverback Gorilla and that Halloween shit that he was doing. I didn't care for him.
Good luck. What?
You're drinking vodka, yeah, it shows because for you to say Joel Santana is a Tupac ripoff, I've never heard nobody say that. Yeah, you're drinking some strong ass vodka right now.
You know what?
No. Sheik is good at spitting bars. Oh, I like to hear him spitting bars over other people's beats.
You know what? So I might even go as far as say Jedi Mind Tricks might not even have no classics.
Oh wow, I'm not going that far. I'm not going that far.
Hell. I mean,
Well, what is okay? Well, if they do have a classic, what is their definitive classic? Is it Violent by Design?
I'm more of the first album, the Psycho album,
Mm,
but
okay.
traditionally, yes, Violent by Design will be the definitive classic.
Okay, so then they have a classic album then to you, right? No, they don't have a
That album
classic
is
album.
good, but I wouldn't really call the underground calls the classic. Me,
It's just good to you.
it's good, but it's not a classic.
It's not a
That's
classic
just
to you,
yeah.
right? Okay.
And I'm being like I said, I like Vinny Paz. He's a good lyricist, but
Hmm.
I don't know if I would call that like a heralded classic.
I
You know
love
what I'm
his albums. The last album he dropped, as above so below, that was fire. The one before that, the Pain Collector, that was to me one of his best albums.
saying?
You know, Season of the Assassin, underrated. I think he got like a lot of solid stuff. Now, are they classic? That's another debate that we could have. I don't know if people consider those albums classic. I think he has a solid body of work though.
Hell, controversial opinion.
Um,
Big Noise. I feel like he episodes of a Hustler was
that was dope.
good,
It's a
but it's not a
classic. It's a solid
no
album. Solid and
solid.
classic are two different things though. Like
Yes,
solid album would be like 4 mics. Classic is a 5 mic album.
that was a very good album, but I
Yeah.
wished he would have fucking finish that album before he went to prison
Yes,
and shit.
because it became an EP.
Yes,
Yeah, that definitely need to get that. That's out of print like crazy.
because a lot of people and especially Mobb Deep fans, which I'm not mad about,
Hmm.
they would like put that in the same breath as Infamous. I'm like,
Hell
whoa,
no,
nope,
nah.
nope.
But well, I know why they do it because it was like around the same time that they both came out, and
Yeah,
if you hear like Havoc production, it's like in the Infamous, like he was on the Infamous album. So,
I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. So
hmm,
one MC who dropped one album, and I feel like it's a classic,
hmm,
Teflon, My Will album,
okay,
and shit like that. I feel like it's an underground classic.
right,
And if you listen to the beats on that album, it don't really sound like some shit MOP because MOP they have that loud kind of
right,
that aggressive like Firing Squad, that
right,
kind of the hardcore grimy shit.
mm,
My Will was more like a melodic cruising vibe, which I fucking
right,
love.
right. I
You
feel
know
you.
what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yes,
That's true.
Cormega definitely has
Yes,
class.
Cormega. That well, he
Some
didn't make the
motherfuckers
list
said
because he
Cormega ain't got no classes. I'm like, y'all bugging.
yeah, Cormega didn't make the list because he have classics.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Matter of fact, we definitely need to talk about Cormega on this channel
Yes.
because I recently
And
became a fan of Cormega.
we gonna have to do like the underground shit too. Now that you mentioned it, like our underrated classics or whatever shit like that, like a
Ooh,
list. Because
ooh,
you
you really don't
mentioned
want to do.
Teflon, yes, we gotta do that. You mentioned
You
Teflon, and
really don't.
I got a whole bunch too that people overlook.
Yes.
So Mike Geronimo first album, The Natural, that to me is a classic, underground classic.
Oh yeah.
Cellar Dwellers, Realms and Reality. You know what I mean? So
Woo!
yeah, that's
Beat,
the underground shit I'm talking about.
Beating us, Intoxicated Demons.
Yes, great album. I like all the albums, even the ones that got slept on.
I
The
wouldn't go that
originators.
far.
You know, I love
I'm,
Musical Massacre. I thought Musical Massacre was dope.
to me, everything up to the Stone Crazy album that
Right,
was it for me.
I feel you.
I'm
You know
a,
what I
I'm
mean?
gonna stay on till about 12:55 and shit. You
Yeah,
know, I
yeah.
gotta finish up this homework. You know. So.
Are you still getting on later or no?
Oh hell yeah, I'm getting all
You going
later.
on later? Okay, well
Hell
we
yeah.
gonna Reg is doing a live stream late night, so if you still up, you
Yeah,
could join us.
because I got some heavy announcements I gotta make tonight too.
Yes.
The masquerade is coming, y'all. Just to let y'all know.
Happy birthday to Shirley Jones. Yesterday was her birthday
Happy
from the
birthday.
Jones girls. Yep. Salute to her. Salute to Cam and PJ.
Another motherfucking underground classic, and y'all,
Hmm.
and I really cannot wait till I talk about this album. At
Right.
20, self-explanatory.
I gotta hear that because yeah, you've been telling me about that for months, and I never paid attention
Hey,
to any of them. And the thing is, I have the DTP album, and I never heard that shit.
I,
It's sitting there right now.
I never heard it in full too, so I definitely gotta do because we definitely gotta do Chicken and Beer
Yeah,
next month too.
great album.
Um, hell, I like Shauna, but I wouldn't say any of her albums are classic.
Right. Shauna looking good nowadays, man.
Oh, she
What?
looking like a huge
Oh
snap.
Lord, I saw her the other day on Cam's page. I'm like, what? She looking like a meal.
Oh, yeah, Sam, thank you. Rest in peace, Sarah Dash from the group LaBelle.
Yes,
Rest
rest
in
in peace to her.
peace.
Rest in peace to
Thank,
Melvin Peebles too.
thank you too.
Yeah,
I need to rewatch Sweet Seymour's badass song.
man, we losing our legends, man. That's why it's good to have these discussions and talk about them.
Yeah. Um. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, me and Schwab, we're gonna start filming one of the two series I'm debuting on this channel. It's gonna be called Inside the Zine, and this one is gonna be about where since I have all this fucking collection of Jet, Source, and Vibe magazines, and they do this ratings,
Right,
we're gonna see like where they rated the albums back in the day and compared to how we view the albums now and shit.
right.
So
Shit.
this one's not gonna be live. This one's gonna be pre-recorded and shit because
Okay.
I have time limits restricted. I want to do this like an hour discussion, hour no more. 'Cause I know
Right,
everyone's gonna start talking and shit like that,
right, right.
and all that shit. Like no shade to y'all like y'all having, but sometimes I'm gonna start doing like a lot more pre-recorded shit. No shade, like no
No
shade,
shade. No
because
shade.
yeah, I have another show I'm trying to debut on Sunday too.
Hmm.
This one's dedicated to live performances. That's all I'm gonna say on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, when are you free tomorrow? By the way, I was gonna ask you.
Whenever you want to do it, we good.
Okay.
I'm doing an Instagram live at 9 p.m. No, at 10 p.m. my time, and we're gonna be like talking about like well, I'm going on with some homies on shout out to Nostalgic, Slick Ball cast platform on Instagram, and so we doing like a live for like an hour at 10, and then I'll be before then I'll be free, and then after the live I'll be free. So
Well, I know before I'm watching my grandma and I got to do some Ubering, so just hit me up after your IG and shit. Because I
alright.
still got to pick the source magazine I want to do because I'm just gonna randomly pick it and just say fuck it.
Q said,
Then
did you guys hear about Nelly is going to be honored at the BT Pop Awards? He is. I didn't even know about
he wouldn't be honored if if he didn't talk about his albums. Let's be real.
that.
Let's be real.
I did not hear about that. I probably won't even watch the show.
Yeah, I don't even watch the hip hop awards like
Yeah,
that unless if it's somebody good.
right. I haven't watched
But
it in
yeah,
years. Wow.
but yeah, let's be real. No, but nobody was talking about his albums until
Right.
we talked about him. Then all of a sudden he was on the verses and shit. So I feel like
Right.
somebody's watching the show. I feel like we're doing something right. I mean, really though,
uh,
really.
that was
I
a
really,
bad
I mean,
matchup to begin with. He was better off battling Ja Rule. He had a better shot of winning this. Over, he wasn't gonna beat Ludacris. It was Ludacris just hit differently. You know.
you know what's crazy though?
Mm-hmm.
Why did I sound British for a minute? Like, it wouldn't have happened if it didn't happen on our channel though.
he, he just had a bad matchup. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Oh, low key, third base.
Yeah.
They had class. A lot of people say they didn't have classes. Nah,
Yes,
Cactus
they did.
album was classic.
I love the Devil's Dialect more than the Cactus album.
I need
That
to
was
get
one
that
of my
out.
favorites. I need to get that on CD. That was one of my favorites I had on cassette, and that was like one of my most played on cassette because I like every track on there was fire. The skits, their production was great. It was just like a real boom bap album from them,
For real. It was
and
boom bap, boom bap.
it didn't get no promotion from Def Jam. I don't understand that.
Besides Pop
No,
Goes the Weasel.
that's it. That's like their biggest song off of that album. Everything
Hold
else
on,
went
wait a
on the
minute.
radar.
Product of the Environment was on that album, right?
Yes, but it wasn't a
Yeah,
big hit though. You
the
know what I'm
remix.
saying?
The remix was on. They performed that on the Living Color too.
Right, right. Ace in the Hole, which is like a sequel, you could say, to Gas Face. That was fire. Like they had back, they had some joints on there, and it was like, yo, it didn't get no promotion.
You know what I think, and this is me,
Mm,
my personal opinion. I feel like Russell pretty much used third base just to get at the Beastie Boys the same way how Maurice Starr used New Kids on the Block to get at New Edition. Think about it,
mm,
because and I was watching an interview, my favorite Black TV interview with Professor Griff,
mm,
and they were talking. He was talking about how MC Search we used to get away with saying the N word and shit like that, and then he was looked at as like the token white guy because
mm,
pretty much the Beastie Boys. We all know what happened with the Beasties and Russell
right.
and Rick Rubin and shit like that too and stuff
Mm,
because pretty much Russell pretty much forced third base to do that Sons of Third Base diss track. You
right.
know that da 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 da,
Mm-hmm.
which in my opinion, I felt like they did their thing with that diss track, but I felt like the Beastie Boys killed them with Professor Booty
Definitely,
and shit like that.
definitely.
Especially when MCA was like moving around like you dance like Janet Jackson. Like, oh come on,
Oh
he
Lord.
he. I mean, don't that beef was that was an entertaining beef though, because both Beastie Boys and Third Best stepped their game up and shit too.
Yeah.
But I just personally felt like third base was used, and it sucks because they made some very great music too. Because
Exactly.
I feel like the Cactus album should be talked in the same breath as like Strictly Business too.
Right. It was dope. It was a
But
dope album. I definitely enjoyed
yeah,
it.
very dope. But people only recognize them as the rappers that diss Hammer, all the rappers
Right.
that diss Beasties and shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell,
And
these
and
niggas were using samples. Motherfuckers were not even using like that fucking Cactus sample to use the Doors sample and shit like that.
right.
Oh, the way they
And then
flipped that.
And even like when they made Pop Goes the Weasel, I didn't look at it like it was a racial thing. I was just like, yo, they speaking what everybody else thought, that Vanilla Ice was not
Exactly.
liked and Hammer was too commercial, and they're the only ones that really spoke out about it and tried. You know what I'm saying?
Well, other people, I feel
Other
like
people
other
spoke.
other people spoke out about it and shit like that too. Because MC Light had that track and
Right.
act like you know.
Act like you know. Right.
Of
Right.
course, Digital Underground,
Mm-hmm.
Redman,
That man.
um, Run DMC and Hammer. They had a beef way back in the day and shit like
I didn't
that.
even know
Cause
that until
yeah, cause Hammer was this in the East Coast. With that they put it in a mix song. He said
right.
he was better than Dougie Fresh, LL, Run DMC, and all that shit. And
God.
then I think at one point they were about to fight one another and
Wow.
shit too. Stay tuned
Hammer
on the next.
against three people in Run DMC.
Yeah, and there's even the classic episode in Arsenio when
Mm.
Run DMC was dissing the shit out of Hammer too. I feel like DMC
Wow.
was saying like he was like, "Ain't nobody want to do that." Shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So yeah, stay
That
tuned for that
that's
episode.
back when mainstream wasn't allowed in hip hop. Not like it is now.
Hell no.
Like Hammer would have been accepted now compared to back then. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't a thing back then, and I guess you could say he had to become a martyr. He had to break down barriers so that other people like a Jay Z and a Puffy and a Drake could shine on the mainstream. So
Because the same shit that niggas were dissing Hammer for, motherfuckers was
hmm
doing that shit years later.
right,
LL Cool J was one of them
hmm
and shit, in my opinion.
right, yeah,
Let's call a spade and shit like
yeah,
that. He over here dissing Ella talking about my old
hmm
gym teacher ain't supposed to rap and shit like
right.
that. Who else? Who else? All these motherfuckers doing y'all getting mad at him or doing endorsement deals. Wasn't Q-Tip doing some shit with condoms or some shit?
He was.
I don't know if it was Q-Tip, but some motherfucker was doing some shit with condoms or some sex shit.
I don't remember
I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be
that.
wrong, but
I don't remember that.
hell, him and Redman went at it and shit. Y'all,
Right, right. I remember. I
yeah,
remember
y'all
that.
forgot about that.
I'm like Red Man would have beaten him, man. Like, come on,
Man, Redman, he said y'all don't want to mess with Hammer and shit.
nah.
And shit.
Andre said the same thing. He's like, Hammer will beat your ass.
Hell yeah, like y'all
hmm
know what happened with MC Search.
Right,
Hammer pulled up at MC Search and shit. Yeah,
man.
I still love that radio interview and Hammer got at third base.
Yeah.
Y'all was talking about y'all talked about my mom. I don't like when
hmm
y'all talk about.
Right.
That was classic, man.
Yeah. Hammer was good for his time. I did buy Please Hammer Don't Hurt Him. Unfortunately, but
I
that's
got
when
that in the phone.
yeah, that nah, I didn't keep it. I didn't keep it. That's at the city dump right now. Him and
You
Vanilla
said you
Ice
want
first
to review
album.
that album.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said you want to review that album.
No, not over shit that I think is more important than. I think there's a lot of artists that's more important to discuss than
Yeah,
Hammer.
that's what I'm saying.
I
I said,
meant I was joking when I said that. I'm like we doing Shaq discography. I'm like we might as well do Hammer too. You know what I'm saying? But I was joking when I said that shit though.
first of all, let's not disrespect Shaq's discography. Let us not do that.
It's
I'm
Shaq.
sick and tired of the disrespect Shaquille O'Neal has
It's
when it comes to
Shaq.
hip hop.
It's Shaq. He was okay.
He was
I'm not. I love Shaq more as a basketball player than a rapper. You know,
same.
Shaq did his thing. He had his little hits in hip hop, but
His
I wasn't
little
like a
hits.
huge.
His little hits.
I wasn't a huge Shaq fan when he came to his. The only one I ever bought was Shaq Diesel, and then I ended up getting rid of it. 'Cause, you know what I'm
You know
saying?
what? I'm not a gambling man, but I
Mm.
bet you after we do the discography breakdown, I put $20 down that somebody's gonna re-release one of Shaq's albums.
You
I
think? What do you
call
mean
it right
somebody?
now.
Some
Huh?
like the record label?
Some record label is gonna re-release one of his albums by do the discography breakdown. I
Well, I
put
thought he was,
$20.
but he was on Jive Records. They're not re-releasing their stuff.
Well, Jive went out of business and shit like that
Right.
too. So
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. They
yeah,
merged.
but no, I'm just saying because a lot of these albums I never thought would get re-released or get on streaming
Right.
is doing that shit. So
True.
I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm gonna put $20 right now.
It'll be Shaq Diesel and it'll be You Can't Stop the Rain. Those two will get re-released, I think.
I say more Shaq Diesel.
Shaq Diesel. That's it.
Yeah, because even though Can't Stop the Rain, I love that album. It's not one of an album like a lot of the Shaq fans. Well, I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm gonna be real. I feel like the first two albums was enough that the public could take. That's all I gotta say. You Can't Stop the Rain. That's, spoiler alert, my personal favorite Shaq album.
Right.
Because he had one of the greatest hip hop songs ever.
Right.
The title track with Biggie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, one of the. Y'all talk about victory. That verse Biggie did on "You Can't Stop the Rain."
Right.
Oh my god.
And if Puffy do a verses, he can't use that song.
You can't use that song.
You can't use that song. That's because Biggie was on your label. You can't use that song. If it's Bad Boy versus So Def, that's one thing. But if it's Puffy against Jermaine Dupri, there's certain songs from Biggie you can't use.
No.
You can't use Get Money. Junior Mafia wasn't on Bad Boy.
Yeah, and I'm so glad Jermaine Dupri said that shit because motherfuckers don't pay attention to like labels when it comes to like hip hop. Because even when it comes to like Death Row Records, they're so quick to say Warren G's regular G Funk era. It's a Death Row album. It's not a Death Row album.
It's on Def Jam
album.
Yep.
I mean, you can say it has Death Row influences, but no.
Right.
People say Conspiracy, Junior Mafia. No, those were Undies.
Yep.
That one and Lil Kim's. Those were Undies and shit.
There was not Bad Boy.
Shit, like like niggas don't pay attention to that shit, you know. That's a shame. Y'all motherfuckers call yourself hip hop heads. Y'all so quick to say, "Oh, Drake is better than Michael Jackson," but these are motherfuckers.
Even yeah, you're right. That should never even be a discussion. Like I don't understand that. Even the Uptown MCA shit, he didn't produce Diary of a Madman. So how was he? He can't use them Jodeci songs. He didn't produce that shit.
No, and Devontae Swing. That was all Devontae.
That's all Devontae
Swing.
And Dalvin, right?
Yes, Dalvin too.
Yeah, he can't use them shits. He's playing this shit on the live against with JD. I'm like, why is he playing Come and Talk to Me? He didn't do that song.
That's why I want this shit to happen. I want to go live with this shit.
He's gonna for the shit that Puffy think he could play, the shit that he can't play, he's going to lose. Jermaine is going to beat him off of the songwriting alone because Puffy is not a songwriter.
And if they let him do that shit, then Versus is going to lose credibility for that shit. You know. I'm not kidding. I'm really not kidding right now because music fans, we take that shit very seriously.
Right.
Like we take that shit very seriously and shit. You know. Especially with Devontae Swing, a producer, I feel like does not get his just due.
Exactly. He can do a versus. Puffy can't because he didn't produce shit. The Hitmen produced for you. That's why you paid them off. And Buck Wild and Stevie J and D. Angeletti and you know what I'm saying. They can do a versus against JD, not Puffy. Huh?
Yeah. Kanye was part of Hitman too.
Kanye was part of the Hitman.
Yeah, like between he was like an understudy, like in the late '90s and shit.
I didn't know that. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? It's like I want to see what records Puffy think he can use because niggas gonna be calling him out in the comments like, yo, you didn't produce that for.
You know damn well I'm gonna call his black ass in the comments and shit.
You didn't produce that for Fall MC. What you talking about? They were his artists. He was an intern at Uptown. He wasn't running Uptown.
Nigga, the only thing he was known for Uptown was killing all those motherfuckers in that concert. Tips teeth.
City College, yeah.
Yeah, and it's about to be the 30th anniversary of that shit too.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't start Bad Boy till '93. Like how the fuck you talking about? It's his artist.
But this motherfucker wants to battle Dr. Dre when Dre said he's not doing that shit.
He ain't beating Dre anyway. Dre got too many classic albums alone over Puffy. Like what you gonna play Biggie and Mary the whole damn verses? That's still not enough.
Dre can even play shit that he mixed. He mixed the whole Dog Food album.
Exactly.
One of the greatest mixed albums in hip hop history.
When was the last time Puffy mixed an album? I'll wait. You know what I'm saying? He don't do that. It's the technical shit that's gonna fuck him over. You know, people are thinking, oh yeah, he did Jodeci. No, he didn't produce Jodeci or Father MC or Heavy D and the Boys. Like he was an intern at Uptown. That's not his artist. That's Andre Harrell's artist. Is it Andre Harrell against JD? Because Andre's dead. So, you know what I mean? the technical shit is gonna fuck him over because he opened his mouth already and trying to play like he big shot, and then when you look back at it, oh, you're gonna realize like, damn, he didn't do this shit. JD's gonna win.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, fam. It's about to be 1 o'clock. I might eat something quick. Brush my teeth.
All
I'm
right.
gonna get ready for live stream and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
All right, just send me the link. This was nice.
You already know.
We're gonna definitely do a part 2 and 3 to this shit.
Oh yeah.
Salute to everybody that came through.
Yeah, salute to everybody. Make sure y'all staying up late, or we're gonna have the after party late. We're gonna continue this conversation.
Yes.
And shit like that. Cause I got more shit. I want to talk about this whole Gabby, that white girl that got killed and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about that.
Gabby?
That Gabby Petito chick. You know?
Oh yeah. I heard about her. Yeah.
No, that's not funny.
And they still ain't found her yet, right?
No, she dead.
Oh, she dead.
Yeah, and they can't find a fiance.
But we don't know if she dead. They missing,
No,
but we don't know.
They said she
dead. But so then, where's the body?
They say they found. I read online. They said she's dead. They found the body and shit. So.
Oh, okay.
They're trying to find a fiance right now.
And he dead too, or he on the run.
Yeah, man. But I was gonna stay on for maybe about 2 to maybe till about 3:30 because I'm trying to finish up some homework. I need to stay up too.
All right, cool.
Well, actually, I already took a long ass nap, so I'm gonna stay up till about 5 anyway. Yeah,
I'll be up.
Yeah, but anyway, Sunday is a surprise review.
Yes.
Rock Lady did not reach back to me yet, so she's on the fence and stuff like that.
She's on the fence. Where's Eric? Eric, you holler at Rock Lady for us, yo.
Yeah, Eric's coming. Ash is coming. Of course, BJ's coming too.
Yes. I hope he do. He has some explanations to say, man. Like, this whole obsession with JD, because I don't like that.
And then I know you invited Rap Generation.
No, I know Flynn ain't gonna be up because he lives over in Australia. But I told Mr. Music Mania, but if he don't get back to me, then you just miss this one.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Whenever we finish the surprise review, whoever's on is on. That's all I gotta say.
And I know Kristen hit me up. He said he wanted to join too because he had some new vinyl to show.
Okay, cool.
So
because I know Eric is gonna be on and shit like that.
Okay.
Because I know with one of my StreamYard accounts, I'm not going to use anything on that StreamYard account because I have 6 hours remaining. That part I'm going to use on my collections and shit like that too. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, and then stay tuned because I'm going to definitely announce when I'm going to do certain albums and shit too.
All right.
And stuff like that. So, yeah. Thank you so much for doing this. Try. This was fun as fuck. Let me know whenever you're ready to do part 2 because I'm ready, man. R&B.
Yes. I like these discussions, man. They're a lot easier to do. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This was fun.
All right.
So, subscribe, like, share. Let me know what's your what other artists that you feel like needs to be on this list of MCs with no classics, and that's just what it is. So.
It is what it is.
Till next time.
Peace.
Peace.